junkies out there, I invite you to spend some time with me. I'm Johnny Allen, and this is the Johnny Allen Podcast Show. And the show does start now. I'm your host, Johnny Allen. This is the Johnny Allen Podcast / videocast show, where you can see me on Facebook under Johnny Allen Podcast Show or YouTube under Johnny Allen Podcast Show. Welcome to Thursday. Yeah, I call them Friday Eves. It's Friday Eve. Hey, it is Thursday. One more day before the weekend, right? We love them. We love them. And if you missed me last week, I apologize. Just had a lot going on. I did show a rerun, so hopefully you check that out. But I'm back right now. So welcome, like I said, to the show. Welcome to the podcast. I have every Thursday around 7 o'clock. And you know what? We got a time change. Wow. Let me just get that out there real quick. We do the time change. We did the time change last weekend. Let me know below if you like the time change or not. You know, we actually, I don't like it because, you know what? I feel like they took an hour away from me. They took an hour from my sleep time. And in the morning, man, I got to get up an hour earlier. So Johnny Allen's not a big fan of the time change. I understand why they did it years ago here in Indiana, but I don't know. Comment below if you like about the time change. Do you like it? Do you not like it? All right, like I said, this is March the 12th, 2020. It's a special day. Very, very, very special day. And you're probably wondering, well, why is that, John? Really, you know, it's not even St. Patrick's Day yet. That's not till Tuesday. What's so special about today, Thursday, March the 12th? And I'll say it again, Thursday, March the 12th. Special day. Wonderful day. It is my mother's birthday. So happy birthday, Mom. And love her so much. I thank the Lord every day I still have my mom. She's a trooper. She is a trooper. I can't say enough about my mother. I could do a whole week on a podcast about just my mom. How wonderful she is. How great she is. Number one fan. Number one supporter of everything my brother and I do. Loving, nurturing. I'm just very blessed to have one of the best mothers I could ever have. Probably the best mother I could ever have, really. I know everybody loves their mom. At least most people do. Some people don't love their mom, I guess. But I'm fortunate that I have a very, very wonderful mother. And happy birthday again, Mom. I'll just touch a little bit on moms. I'll do a thing about moms on Mother's Day. But I'll just touch on moms real quick, especially when it comes to my mother. She was very much a hard worker, still is, but she slowed down a lot. She is the thread that keeps the family together, the rope, the thread, whatever you want to call. Actually, she's a chain because she's very solid and she keeps the family together, keeps it united. If you need some help, support, she's the first one there. And if you don't need help, she's always there. She'll lean an ear out. She'll listen to anything you got to say, whether it be good, bad, or indifferent. You can tell her just about anything, and it's she's just wonderful. That's all I got to say about my mother. So happy birthday to you, Mom. And you know, it also leads to I'm going to talk about a little love and respect thing coming up a little bit today. Thanks again for liking and subscribing and joining me today. So anyway, happy birthday to my mom. Moms are great. Like I said, if you have any comments about your mother, please do that below. What you think about your mom? If you still have your mom, if you don't have your mom, you know, hopefully you always remember your mother, no matter what. You know. So anyway, comment about your mother below if you like. Also, I was talking about, you know, the whole thing about the last week or the week before, brother, I was talking about this whole thing about the coronavirus. Okay, we'll touch on that real quick. I know this is old news. It's current news. It's news. It's news that keeps evolving. But basically, in a nutshell, it's an aggressive virus. Okay, it's like other viruses. It's just a new one. Okay, what do we do about it? You know, just try to do everything you do when you, you know, try to prevent the flu. Same thing. Like they always say, wash hands, blah, 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 blah. I've heard two different things about it. I do work in the healthcare industry, and, you know, I heard that there's a milder case and there's a worse case. I still think they're trying to figure it out. A friend of mine who's a biologist told me, John, everybody's going to get it. And what happens is your body will become immune to it, and it'll build antibodies up against the new virus because our bodies are amazing. They'll do that. They'll do that. They'll come in contact with something foreign and they'll try to figure it out. They'll do a trace on it. Our body does. Our body analyzes it and says, okay, what's the best way to attack this and kill it? And also I learned from my biology friend and a nurse friend of mine, they both said the same thing, that a virus is just a host. And it only be a host for so long because it won't survive if it tries to take over everything. So usually a virus will do its thing for a little bit, then it's gone, which is kind of weird. Now some viruses, do a lot of damage, obviously HIV and stuff like that. But they even got controlling HIV now. People are surviving it. 20, 30 years ago, people were dying from it. Hopefully, the bottom line with this coronavirus, I hope it doesn't shut everything down completely and drown our economy. I think that's a little, no pun intended, but I think that's a little overkill. I just think that, people should go ahead and keep buying stuff. Don't overbuy, I went to the store the other day, last Saturday. I went to the grocery. This young guy, about 20-some years old, filled up the cart full of canned goods, toilet paper, all this stuff. Like it's going to be the end of the world in 2 minutes. That's not the case, people. Maybe a lot of people are going to get sick for a little bit. It's going to run its course. It's going to be gone. Or it's going to level out. I've heard that from a lot of experts, not just me. And I honestly believe that. So let's don't freak out over that. Hope it doesn't kill the economy too much because, it's always good to have a nice 401k and everything, especially when you get my age and you're trying to retire. All right, that's about all I got on the coronavirus. If you guys want to talk about it, go ahead. I just basically think it is what it is. I'm going to continue to live my life. I did have a little bit of a cold thing, sinus infection, some kind of virus just a couple days ago. I just got over it. I missed a couple days of work because of it. I go back to work and everybody's automatically saying, hey, did you have a coronavirus? You got the coronavirus? So don't think so. But here's the weird thing. One last thing about the coronavirus. People say, well, did you have the coronavirus and everything? It's like, you know what? I probably do have the coronavirus. It's just not the one that they're talking about. There's a lot of, unless you already know this already, we could do some research. There's a lot of coronaviruses. This is just a different one. This is one that's mutated, okay? This is all from my biology friend that knows what he's talking about. This one's just mutated. And he says viruses mutate all the time. Sometimes they mutate by man doing it, like I talked about the last time, my theory. I know my tinfoil hat stuff. Chris down there in Austin, man, he was doing, I thought it was pretty funny too. He was doing the Jones guy, man. I can't remember his name. Alex Jones. Yeah, Alex Jones, man. He's kidding around with the Alex Jones thing. So little Alex Jones conspiracy stuff, whatever. Whatever. And like my nurse friend said, she said, you know what? It doesn't matter if it was made up or whatever, we have it, right? So you got to put that away, whether it's man manipulated or naturally manipulated. It's here. So let's just deal with it. She's right. It's here. Let's just deal with it. But either way, I just hope, I'm going to live like I said my life. I'm going to keep moving on, doing my things. I may wash my hands a little bit more than I used to, even though I wash my hands a hell of a lot anyway. And just kind of, use a lot of proper hygiene. I think a lot of us have gotten lazy. And one last thing I'd like to add, too, but my nurse friend told me, and this is true, the best way to fight any kind of bug, any kind of virus especially, is keep your inflammatory system in check. And us as Americans, we eat too much sugar, we eat too much processed foods, we eat all this junk, which we shouldn't be eating anyway. I'm guilty of doing it sometimes, probably more than I should. I think just about everybody does it. Fast food, blah, 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 blah. You know all about that stuff. That stuff causes your inflammatory system to go haywire. It could cause cancer. It could cause heart disease. This is all proven stuff. Also, it weakens the immune system, which is very important in fighting these viruses, right? So eat healthy, exercise a little bit. We should be doing that anyway. Proper hygiene, washing the hands. Somebody coughs, stay away from them. If you have a cough, put it on your sleeve. If you're wearing a sleeve, sleeve it. Now, I learned that from my nurse friend, too, because I'd always thought cover your cough like this, and you don't want to cough on your hands. And my wife was like, well, yeah, I knew that, John. I'm like, yeah, I'll never knew that. I just kept blowing. I gotta wash my hands, but anyway, yeah, they say sleeve it, just cover it with your arm and do it that way. But anyway, coronavirus, it is what it is. We just got to live with it right now. It's here. How fast it goes away, we don't know. It's going to be here it'll probably be here forever in a form. Probably, you have the outbreak and then stuff, and then dissipate a little bit, and then it may come back, and maybe not as bad as it is now. But the only thing that's like I said earlier on the other podcast, the previous podcast, is this one you seem to be able to catch it a little bit easier. You can catch it like a cold or even a flu, but especially a cold, because the cold is easy to catch. And this one is a little bit more wicked than the cold. So you get, fever and stuff. It's more of a flu type thing, but you can catch it as easy as a common cold. So basically that's it with the coronavirus. I don't think there's any need to go to the store and buy $500 worth of canned goods and all this stuff. Like some of these people going, hey, and some of these podcast people I like a lot, they have like million subscribers. I'm not going to name names. And they're like, yeah, you should stock up. You should, just don't tell your friends. Just go buy all this stuff. No, I really don't think so. If it gets that bad, people really, to be honest with you, we're all screwed anyway. So don't worry about that. That's just my humble opinion. Okay, I'm going to change the subject now. And I'm going to talk a little bit about St. Patty's Day, just slightly. I may do a St. Patty's podcast next week, but it'll be 2 days late. Because like we said, St. Patty's Day is on Tuesday, right? What do you do on St. Patrick's Day besides, this, drink, And you know what? My good friend Reggie gave me a bunch of these today. And I have to admit, this first time I tried this. Irish cream that goes in the coffee. I'm actually trying some right now. Just don't tell nobody. I don't advise if you're underage drinking. So, don't do that. I'm an adult. I'm 56 years old. If I want to have a little bit of this in my coffee, I can, okay? And I'm at home and I'm not driving. There you go. That's just the advice. So anyway, got your coffee out. Let's have a drink to St. Patty's Day. Let's have a drink to my mother's birthday. Happy birthday again, Mother. Love you to pieces. I think she knows. Obviously, you don't even know, but I really think she does know. So anyway, here's to Mom. Here's to St. Patty's Day. Here's to fighting the coronavirus. Let's get rid of it so we can get the stocks back to where they're supposed to be. Okay? That's a whole different story, too. Everybody blames it on the coronavirus, but I've been listening to these professional stock brokers and people that analyze your stocks and your 401ks and all that stuff. And it's not entirely coronavirus. But like I said, that might be another show. Well, let's have a swig. Like I said, happy Friday Eve. Wow, March the 12th. A day that I always remember. Anyway, we're gonna roll over. Hopefully, you guys had a nice week, and you're not getting freaked out about all this stuff. Really, we're gonna go. I'm gonna change the subject a little bit. We're gonna talk about this. Kind of relates to moms. I'm gonna talk about love and respect. Okay, and I want to talk a little bit. I always do talk about a little bit of relationship type things. I talk about everyday life situations that we run into. Like I said, this week I haven't really ran into a whole lot of things, except for ran into this cold or whatever. Which I'm not going to bore you with that. It is what it is. So, but I do want to talk about some things that's been happening. It happens with a few people that I've known in the past. It's happened to me. It's happening to some very close people I know now. Okay, so I'm going to share a little bit of this with you today on the podcast. And it all starts with really love and respect. I'm going to talk about relationships and marriage and divorce and breakups and relationships in general. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to share a little bit of my own personal experience with it, what I've seen from other people and myself, what I've witnessed, what I've analyzed throughout my 56 years on this planet. So take it for what it's worth. Chime in if you want. That's what we're doing here today. So anyway, I'm going to talk about relationships, especially with marriages, divorce, and things like that. Okay, we do... Most of us, anyway, become married at some point in our lives. Sometimes some of us don't, and that's fine if we don't. Some people prefer to stay single. So if you're single and you don't have a relationship right now, this won't pertain to you. So you can just lay back and drink maybe some coffee with some of your favorite Irish creamer in it because it is almost St. Patty's Day. So anyway, talking about marriage and divorces. Okay, we like to be married now. I don't know the exact statistic. I think it's like, I think my brother told me the other day, it's like 40 or maybe 50%. Maybe you guys can help me out with that. Of marriages, especially first-time marriages, end in divorce. It's very sad. That's a very sad statistic, even if it's lower than that. It's just a sad statistic. I got a good friend of mine who's been married and divorced 3 times. And he almost got married again, and it failed. His relationship failed. The woman went off and married some other guy real quick right after the relationship. It kind of blindsided him. So I've analyzed this, like I said, for a long time. I was married before my first marriage. I was married at 28 years old. It lasted 18 years. Mine ended in divorce, obviously, from these things I'm going to list right here. Okay, first of all, the success, if you don't want to get a divorce, and say you're in a relationship that you value, even if you're not married, and you want to value this relationship, and this goes with between spouses, husband and wife, whatever, close friends that you're just friends with. I mean, some of the guys I played in music, bands together, it goes for that too. Just a relationship in general. If you value relationship, but especially if you're married, these are the keys to keeping it successful, okay? So get your pen and pencil out, pen and paper or pencil or whatever you write with. Put it in your phone, all right? Because this is what I've really come to this conclusion. This is the success of a healthy relationship. These 4 factors, and actually really 5. Okay, I'm gonna list them right now. Guys, ready? The first one is obviously love. L-O-V-E. Love. You must love the person that you're with for it to be successful. Okay, that's number 1. Number 1 is love. Okay, if you don't know what love is, go listen to Foreigner. No, I'm just kidding. If you don't know what love is, study it. Okay, there's plenty of websites out there, plenty of books and stuff that will describe what love is. And the difference between, and there is a difference, guys and gals, I guess. There is a difference between love and sex. Okay? Some people think sex is love. Some people think love is sex. Whatever. No. Sex could be an instrument of love, right? But is it the definition of love? No. Okay? All right? And there seems to be a lot of confusion with that these days, too. I love somebody, so I'm going to have a sexual relationship with somebody because I love them. Okay, that's a whole different thing, too. But anyway, they're separate, guys. So look up what love is. Love is a lot more broadened, a lot more deeper. There's a lot more definition to love than just the physical thing. Okay, there you go. Number two is trust. Okay. Trust, and with trust also goes together with being faithful. Okay, trust and being faithful, they go together. They're almost really one word. Trust and faith. Okay, so when we trust somebody, we love them first, and then we trust them, right? And when you trust them with what you tell them. Keep it a secret if it's a secret. You trust them with your life. You just trust them in general. You trust that you're going to make the right decisions with each other, no matter what it is. You know, if it's, financial scenarios, whatever, big decisions or even small decisions. You trust in each other to make these decisions. And it's also, like I said, it's trust and it's like I said, it's commitment and faith. Also, like it comes with affairs too. You trust the person not to have an affair with someone. If you really love somebody and you trust them, then you're not going to go and screw around with somebody else. Okay? You're going to be totally committed to your mate, your companion, okay? Your wife, your spouse, whatever. Okay? So it's trust. You trust in them. You know, my wife could trust me. I could go, okay, I love Jane Seymour. Okay, there's no secret to it. Everybody knows it. My mom knows it. My dad, my brother, my friends, my wife. I love Jane Seymour. I love Jane Seymour, okay? I love her in the fact that she's nice looking and everything. I don't know her personally, but, I should say I admire Jane Seymour. I'll change that. I admire Jane Seymour. Here's where the trust factor comes in. If they put me and Jane Seymour on a remote island, some of you guys are going to think you're crazy, John. For like about a week or 2 weeks or a month or something like that. My wife could trust me that we would just talk and that'd be it and maybe have, some nice conversations. But there wouldn't be any physical stuff going on because I'm married. And you know what? I trust and I love my wife. There you go. So if you truly trust, you're going to be committed. You're not going to have affairs. Because face it, affairs break up marriages. So anyway, it's love and trust. Number three. Kind of goes with trust a little bit and faith. Having faith in the person. This is a big one because this goes outside of even a romantical relationship or, like I said, spouses, a marriage type situation. This is a broad word that can be used in a broad sense, rather. This word comes with can be friends, acquaintances, family, other family members, whatever. This is a huge word, but it really does mean a lot in a marriage. And that word is respect. Okay, so you got love, trust, and respect. All right, respect is huge, almost as huge as the other two words. Okay, is respect. Okay, you got to respect each other. One person cannot dominate the other one. One person cannot belittle the other one. One person can't be snappy at the other one constantly. I'm not saying you're going to get bad mood once in a while. Everybody does. We're human, blah, 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 blah. But listen, you got to respect the other person. You have to respect each other. Respect their ideas. Not saying you have to follow them, but just respect them. Listen to them. Give it a good thought, and then you guys come on to common ground on the decisions that you make in your marriage. Life decisions. Have some common ground. So respect, okay? And with that, also, this last one, and I'll explain a little further. This one is called flex, okay? You have to flex. You have to be flexible in a relationship. That goes with the respect factor. You have to be flexible. Guys, give me just 1 minute. I had a pop-up on my computer. I'm going to take this thing off right now. I just hate it when I'm doing a podcast and you get a pop-up on your computer that says, "Oh, would you buy this product, please?" Hate that. Anyway, sorry for that little interruption. But we were talking about flex, being flexible in a relationship. You have to be willing to flex. In other words, if my wife says, "John, I know you really like music." Okay, I'm a musician, obviously. You guys know that. Okay, my wife is getting ready to go to work. All right? She's getting ready to go to work. No, this is better. My wife's getting ready to go to bed because she has to get up early to go to work. She's getting ready to go to bed. This is a lot better scenario. Just thought of it, too. And I decide that I'm going to take this Marshall stack back here, and I'm going to start playing some Van Halen. I'm going to practice some Eddie Van Halen licks. I'm just going to crank it up to about, it wouldn't take much, about 5. I'm going to rock the house. I mean, this is exaggerating, but you get where I'm going with it. My wife's got to go to bed, and I'm gonna decide, I'm a musician. I need to practice. I'm just going to go ahead and play loud. I don't care what she's doing. I got to do what I'm doing. I don't care about them. I'm going to do what I'm doing. Because it's all about me. Can't be that way. That's flexing. I have to be considerate, flexible, respect my wife. Because she's going to bed. I know that. If I don't have to go to bed when she does, and I want to do some music, guess what? Put the headphones on. Keep it quiet. Keep it respectful. That's a big key to keeping a relationship. And it's vice versa. If your husband is busting his ass, and he's trying to pay all these bills, and he's doing all these things, and your wife goes, you just got to sell all these things out because We just don't have enough money, or you need to work 3 freaking jobs or something like that. But I'm only going to work part-time because, I really just don't care. You're the man. You're supposed to make all the money. I'm just going to sit at home and eat bonbons and work part-time. I need you to work 3 jobs. Now, my wife doesn't do that. My current one. Maybe the ex one did, but I'm just using this example too. That's a no-no. No, that's a no-no. Ladies, listen. The days of the man being the man, it's great. If one spouse makes more money, I'm whatever. It's cool. But don't it, and it doesn't matter which way. If the woman makes more than the man makes more than the woman, it doesn't really matter these days because, it's pretty much equal as far as whatever. Anyway, your salaries and whatever. My point I'm trying to make is you got to work together with it. You got to work together with it. Don't expect that, okay, he's the man, so he needs to make all the money, and I'm going to sit on my ass and not do anything. It doesn't work that way. Work together. The whole key to these relationships is working together. Now, if you want a relationship to fail, don't do none of these things I just mentioned. Don't do them. Don't love, don't trust, don't respect, don't flex in your relationship. Don't be faithful. You do all that, guess what? Your relationship is going to fail every time. This might be general stuff, but this is stuff that I'm seeing that people are doing and why their relationships are failing, right? And it's the same thing when it comes to your friends or family. If someone's doing you a favor, respect that. We all have a crisis once in a while or something, but when somebody is really doing you a favor, a family, a friend, or whatever like that, just say, hey, thanks, I appreciate it, respect that. Respect that they're doing that. A lot of these younger generations, not all of them, but some of them, expect okay, I'm having a problem, so you just owe me, so just go ahead and I'm just going to do what I'm going to do, and then I'm not going to worry about what you got to do. I'm just going to come in and do what I got to do, and not worry about what you got to do. You know what I mean? Just don't do that. If someone's saying, hey, hey, I'll help you out, then just say, oh yeah, you just thank them and do what you can to accommodate them that are helping you. Don't just think, well, they owe me, and I'm just going to do it anyway. A lot of these younger folks, and I see it with a lot, I don't know what it is. I know I'm a lot older, and I think differently, and it could be the way people are raised. I really don't know. I was raised in a home where, if I'd always had to ask my dad or my mom for anything. Basically, is it okay if I, grab something to eat? Is it okay if I use this tool of yours? Is it okay, is it okay to, hey, Dad, do you mind if I borrow this tool? Do you mind if I go out to the garage? Hey, Dad, I'm going to do, you get the point, right? Some of these younger generations, they don't even do that. They just oh, yeah, your house is my house. I'm just going to do what I want. And even to this day, I'm 50, like I said, I'm 56 years old. My parents are close to 80. I'll go down and visit them every, once a month or so like that. Even to this day, I still ask my dad if it's okay if I get in his refrigerator and grab something out of it. I always do. And it's embedded in my brain since I was, old enough to start learning. Okay. And the same with his garage. Dad, do you mind if, first of all, I say, do you have this kind of tool? Can I borrow it? Blah, blah, blah. And we get along real great. So we have mutual respect. My father does the same thing when he comes to my home. He's like, hey, John, do you have any creamer? Do you mind making some coffee? Yeah, I do that with my son. I just had breakfast with my son last Tuesday. Not this past Tuesday, but the Tuesday before. And he served 4 years in the Navy, which, I salute him for that. And I tell you what, the Navy did a great job with him. He was kind of, not to get you bored with the details, but he needed a little direction. He wasn't sure what he was going to do. He joined the Navy, and man, that changed that kid, made him a man. And I go to his house, and I really respect him because he's really regimented. He says, every day at 12:30, Dad, I work out. I stay on the strict diet. I raise my son. He has a really nice regimented lifestyle. He doesn't eat junk food. He has no sugar in the house. I went to, have some coffee, went and had breakfast. It's my birthday, and we went out for breakfast. And his birthday's close to mine. And we went to this is an example. When I went to the restaurant, the waitress says, hey, will this be on one tab? I said, absolutely. I was going to grab the tab and pay for it because I was going to pay for his and say happy birthday. He grabbed it from me and said, absolutely not, Dad. it's your birthday, I'm buying. And he's done that several times. And he's only 26 years old. It's fantastic. I praise my son for that. Very, very cool. All people, young people like that, no, absolutely not. There's a lot of good people out there. But if you're having troubles, and with anybody, I mean, I got strangers, I mean, just have a little respect and gratitude. I mean, especially with these relationships. And I'm running over a little bit today, guys. It's like 30 minutes. But listen, that is the secret to if you're having a healthy relationship, really, is love, trust, and respect. And there's going to be crises come up. And what you got to do is you got to work these crises out. Somebody's going to lose a job. There's going to be a big thing happening. You're going to have some financial burdens. Things are going to come up that are going to test this relationship. So basically, if you do those 4 things I said and stay with them and work together, you're going to succeed every time. That's all I got today. Get your coffee out. What kind of coffee you guys drinking? I'm drinking. I don't even know what I'm drinking today. I think it's this Kroger today. Again, thanks to my friend Reggie. He knows who he is. He gave me a bunch of these today. He just said, "Hey, John, I got you these." I said, "Oh, cool." I said, "What do I owe you?" He said, "Nothing." And you know what? They're pretty good. They're from Ireland. So Kerry Gold, Irish cream. Usually I drink Bailey's or Jameson. That's my Irish thing. And like I said, I'll talk a little bit more about St. Patty's Day next week on the Johnny Allen Podcast /Videocast show. If you have not subscribed, if you're on Facebook, you have not subscribed, please go over to the YouTube side. Please subscribe. I appreciate it. If you're first time on YouTube, please subscribe and like. YouTube's getting kind of strict these days, and they like you to have some subscribers. So I encourage that. And like I said, the first 100 get a coffee mug, and it won't be a Starbucks. It'll be a Johnny Allen Podcast one. You guys have a great weekend. Remember, love, trust, respect, and flex. That's the 4 key words right there. Love, trust, respect, and be flexible in your relationships, no matter what it is. If you family, friends, spouses, whatever it is, that's the keys. You guys have a great weekend. Don't freak out over this coronavirus. I said that the last time. Just don't be afraid to go out and get something to eat once in a while. One last thing I thought about too. I'm running over just a little bit. Right now they got all these deals on the cruise ships, your cruises, your hotels, your trips, because everybody's bailing. They're like, oh, there's no way I'm going to get on a cruise ship. There's no way I'm going to go anywhere. I'm not going to a hotel. I thought about this today. And they're offering these really nice deals, specials. They're knocking like 50, 60% off to giving you free drinks and all the stuff on these trips and on these cruises and stuff like that. You know what? It'd be great. Actually, it'd be a great time to go. Because you know what? No one's going to be on the ship. It's going to be sterilized because of the coronavirus. And you get half off. So you can have the damn thing to yourself practically. It's going to be sterilized. Everybody that's already got the coronavirus already off of it. It's already been, like I said, sterilized. And you're getting it for half price. So now would be the time to go. Just my thoughts. Anyway, I'll see you guys next week. Take care. Have a great weekend.